Welcome to GKey Solutions Private Limited.
SQL Server Integration Services, classes and real-time interview questions and answers. Part-37. How to work with multiple Excel files with multiple sheets with different data in SSIS.
In this part of training, we are going to discuss about how to work with multiple Excel files with multiple sheets with different data in SSIS. Use for each file enumerator to loop through each Excel file first. Inside it, use for each Adobe.NET Schema Rosette enumerator to loop through each sheet in the current file. Store sheet name in a variable and use it in Excel source. Table name from variable. Add separate data flows and conditional logic for sheets with different structure. To do all this process, we have to use for each loop container. In that, there are different enumerators like for each file enumerator, for each Adobe.NET Schema Rosette enumerator that we are going to use to do this process. Let us see these things practically in SSIS. We are in SSIS. I am trying to create a new package. I am trying to renaming it as loop through different Excels. To do this process, first we should have some files in particular location. I have a file data underscore 2025-2026 which is having customer and city data in two sheets. Two sheets are having different metadata, that is different columns. For city also we are having different columns. In the same way, I am having the other data like 2027 Excel. I am loading these tables into these structures. First, we have to truncate these tables. If you say any data, truncate table employee data. This is the first sheet that we are going to load from two Excel files, and another table is city data. This table is going to get the data from city Excel sheets from both the Excel files. Now let us see. There is no data. Now we are trying to load the data from these two Excels with the two sheets with different data. Now I am going to take for each loop container. In the first phase of for each loop container, in collections, I am taking for each file enumerator. Here I am trying to browse the folder where our files are located, and here in the file extensions, our files are Excel files. Excel SX is the extension that I am going to give here. In this particular folder, what are Excel SX files are there, it is going to iterate through all the files. And coming to the variable mappings, here I have to create a variable. We can create variable from here as well, or from variable option also we can create. Now I am trying to create a variable from here like file path, and it is a string data type. For this we have to give our default a value, that means the first file path that I am trying to give here, and the index is 0 for this. I have configured for each file enumerator, it will iterate through all the files in a particular folder. Now I am trying to configure for each Adobe.NET enumerator, Schema Rosette enumerator. For that I am taking another for each loop container. In that collections, I am getting into for each Adobe.NET Schema Rosette enumerator. Here in connection, I am trying to make a new connection. Here in the .NET providers, I am just getting into .NET provider for OLEDB. I am selecting Microsoft Office 4.0 Access Database Engine OLEDB provider. Here I will be giving the file path, a default file path. First file path I am just taking, And coming to all, here we have to specify extension of the Excel files. Extended property is like Excel 12.0 and test the connection. The connection is succeeded. And here in schema we have to take the tables. And coming to the variable mappings, we have to have another variable. That variable also a package variable, package level variable. The variable name is sheet name. Sheet name, the value data type also string. For this I am giving employee dollar. The first sheet name by default I am giving employee dollar. And in the index we have to give a 2. Why? Because to iterate to the different sheets, the index would be 2. See, we are having Excel data underscore. First sheet would be employee, second is city. That is why I am just creating employee as a default sheet name for the first. And after this, what we have to do, we have to take different data flow tasks. From here, we can make some conditions. For example, first data flow task I am taken as dummy, and I am taking another one, and I am taking another one. See, for the first from the first data flow task, I am just connecting it to the data flow task which will load data employee sheet. Loading employee sheet. For this we have to make condition. These are like precedence constraints. I am taking expression and constraint, and here I am trying to make a condition on sheet name. Sheet name, if sheet name is equal to employee dollar, I am just evaluating it as true. And for the next condition, that is this data flow is to loading city sheet. For this also I can make another condition, that is precedence constraints. I am taking expression and constraint. Here also based on sheet name, I am just giving the sheet name as city dollar. This is the second sheet that we are going to load. I am just evaluating. It is good. Now the configuration of for each loop, two for each loop containers and data flows completed, and get into the first data flow. We have to load the data from Excel to particular table, the database tables. For that I am taking Excel source and OLEDB destination. I am trying to configure the Excel source first. Here I am trying to browse the first file, and in a data access mode I will be taking table name or view name, and sheet name I am taking this variable name here. If you preview, it will show you the data from employee sheet. Now we are trying to configure the destination. Here this is the database that we are going to load the data, and instead of table or fast view I am taking fast load. And first table is like employee table, employee data table that we are going to load. This is the table. View the existing data, there is no data. Mappings are fine, and we have configured the first condition, and we have to configure the next condition, that to load the city data from two Excel files. For this, coming to the variables, we have to just change this variable name here to city dollar. Why? Because I will show you. I am taking Excel source again and OLEDB destination. Here I am trying to make a connection. The connection is Excel source connection. It has taken table or view, name variable and the sheet. Coming to the preview, now it is showing the data from city sheet. That is why I have changed the name of the variable to city. Why? Because if it is employee, it will just get the data from employee sheet only. That if you change the variable name, that it will get the data from city sheet. Why? Because the sheet name is a variable that is going to be changed based on the value that is going to be given to that value. And now I am trying to configure the city data. This is the city data, is the destination table, mappings are good. Now we have done the configuration. See here the variable is static for now. Why? Because the variable value is city now. Now it is going to trigger the next, for example, loading city sheet. What about employee sheet? When it runs, when you start the package, then to skip the validation first, what we have to do is we have to put all these data sources delay validation true. Why? Because it will not validate the data first. Why? Because the value of the sheet name is going to be on runtime. Now the configuration of for each loop container, that is file enumerator for each Ado.NET schema row set enumerator and loading the sheets to databases has been configured. Now we have to make the connections dynamic. Now we are here that in connection string, I am just copying this one. Coming to the expression, to make the connection string dynamic, we have to get into the expressions. There I am taking connection string. In expressions, I am trying to copy paste these things in between double quotes and D files. This is the default value that we have given, but this value have to be dynamic. What we have to do, we have to replace this value with a variable. Now this I am putting this variable in double quotes plus and file path is the variable. I am going to put that one. Let us evaluate. The valuation is perfect, and we have to make the same thing for the Excel connection manager. For Excel connection manager, Excel files have to be dynamic. For that, what we have to do, we have to take Excel file path and we have to take the file path as well. The file path also have to be dynamic. Evaluation also perfect. Now the configuration has been done. In this part of package, what we are trying to do, by using for each loop container file enumerator, we are iterating through different files in a particular folder, and after that by using for each Ado.NET schema row set enumerator, we are iterating through different sheets and then we are loading the data into the destination. That is the process which is going to happen here. I am trying to start the package now. I think we have to close. Why? Because the settings and everything has been done. We have to close and open this thing, and I am closing and opening it. Now I have restarted the SSIS again. Why? Because sometimes the delay validations are not going to be reflected. Now I am trying to run the package here. Let us try. Now the package got executed successfully. In this way, we have to put the delay validation for dummy for all the data flow tasks inside the for each loop container. In such a way, it is going to be work. Why? Because the value for the sheet name is going to be dynamic here. Why? Because first we are changing to employee, then we are changing to city. In such a way, it will be giving your error. Then in such a scenario, you have to put the delay validation true. Then it is going to be work for you. I think you got some idea about it. Thank you.
Stay connected with GKey IT solutions on all your favorite platforms. Follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest content. Join the GKey community and grow your IT career with us.